municipal business. If you come back to work after the first day at lunch, that's one timeline. If you come back to work on the second day, that's the second timeline. And if you come back to work the second week, that's the third and final timeline. And at that point, they might give you a golf shirt. I'm looking forward to coming back to work on Monday of next week. This week has been spent predominantly meeting with department heads to get an idea of what their issues are within the departments, to get an idea of who they are, and to meet some of their key staff. Next week, my focus will turn to meeting with the individual aldermen. I've either met with or have set meetings with all but one so far, and I want to get a sense for what their particular individual issues are so that we can attempt to make sure that everybody's on the same page with respect to moving the city forward. And then after that, in addition to the normal days and the normal duties of the job, I want to start meeting with other key stakeholders of the community, chambers of commerce, park district, library district, fire districts, to make sure that the working relationship between the governmental units is either very good or will improve. So I appreciate Mayor being here. I appreciate the council's expression of confidence, and I look forward to working for the city for the next number of years. Thank you.
That brings us to the consent agenda. Is there any objections to any of the items on the consent agenda? If not, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Now may I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, being approval to direct the city attorney to draft ordinance for case number 08V5 Moraga for an increase in maximum lot coverage from 35 to 36%. Approval of contract award to Arrow Road Construction Company for 2008 street improvement program in the amount of $1,091,871.93. And approval of final payment to Brothers Asphalt Paving, Inc. for 2007 street improvements in the amount of $26,092.29. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Roll call.
Alderman Cadavon? Alderman Knight?
Yes.
Alderman Cole?
Yes.
Alderman Lewison? Yes. Alderman Police?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Those items are approved. That brings us to committee chairman reports, planning, zoning, and building. Alderman Shockey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first item is a report and recommendation in case number 08-V4 Buy Right Wholesale Incorporated for a lot coverage variation at 875 Lively Boulevard. I'll make a motion to concur with the Public Health, with the Planning, Zoning, and Building Committee to approve the variance for an increased maximum lot coverage from a standard 70 to 78% to allow for the construction and use of a building addition.
Is there a second? On the question? Alderman Winger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two questions that are fairly high level and then some more detailed questions. So I'll just start with the first two. Question to the petitioners or staff. Are we looking to take out any of the rear scrub trees, tall grass, any of the greenery in the rear yard?
Mr. Clicker, are you going to handle that or the petitioner?
As far as the building, the proposed building itself, it will be out of the 20-foot rear yard required setback. As far as if any of the construction will disturb any of that material, I cannot answer to that. That may be a question more appropriate for Mr. Anderson.
My name is Tom Anderson. I'm president of Anderson Sales Company, a design-build general contracting firm, and I was employed or am employed by Buy Right Wholesale. The trees, I have to provide a buildable platform around the building, and if a tree is removed, we'll replace it with another tree. And this will be shown on the civil drawings.
Okay, as a follow-up, how far are you going to have to encroach on the greenery in the back?
Well,
With-
if I would say at the onset, 8 to 10 feet. That's the buildable platform I need around the building to construct it. After the building is constructed, if a tree is taken out, I'll put it back, and then grass will replace, will be put on the soil around the building.
Okay, thank you. My second question, fairly high level. I took a look at the grading of the site plan fairly closely. It was a smaller plan, and I haven't had an opportunity to look at the larger one yet, but, so will you be regrading when you're building, or will the current grading still be in place after you build the structure?
No. There will probably be fill brought in, especially at the southeast corner of the building, and then it would conform if it becomes a severe issue. It'll go to a 3-to-1 slope. And this is basically the slope that is approved normally in most villages that I've dealt with. And that would be grass, and if a tree is there too, it would be replaced.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. What did you say about the southeast corner?
That is the area where you would have the possibility of a slope, because the land slopes
Right.
to the southeast. The building, because the floor has to be level with the existing building, what you may end up is with a situation where the slope would be created from the building to the property line. Fill would be added to that slope at a ratio of 3-to-1. For every foot you go up, you go out 3 feet. This ensures in drainage. This is the standard for most stormwater abatement situations. And if, again, there are trees at that corner, if a tree is within the footprint, that 10-foot building platform that I need, a new tree will replace it. Now,
Okay.
all of this will be on the drawings. I'll have the civil engineer put those on the drawings.
Sure, I understand that, but I want to understand the plans and concept before I would go ahead and vote yes or no. I want to be comfortable that the concept is in place. Mr. Mayor, should I go forward with my additional?
Pursuant to our rules, Alderman Cadella.
Okay.
Just to kind of pick up on what Alderman Winger began to talk about, elevations, I'm looking at the building as it exists as approximately 100 feet above sea level, as it's shown on this drawing I have. That rear property, as you say, sir, does drop down rather significantly, and then the parking lot and the property behind you or to the east is graded at about 92 feet. So we're already looking at a difference of 8 feet between where your foundation's going to be and where that parking lot, which is approximately 40 feet away, I assume, from scale in the south, 35 feet away. So there's going to be a fairly significant grade difference there, and you know, I don't mean to put words in anybody's mouth, but I assume that any trees or vegetation that exists there right now is going to be completely removed just to make the grading work.
That
guess.
probably is true.
Thank you.
Just one other, the property to the south, this dark blue line is a retaining wall. That's existing. That is because of the severity between the different platforms, the sites. The site we're talking about is back here in 40 feet, especially for me to get 20 feet, that can be graded in such a way that you're not going to have a problem with that. All of this, again, the drawings have to be brought to your city engineer, and then he applies the local codes to it, and it's either approved or adjustments have to be made.
Alderman, please.
I know we didn't make the motion yet, but when whoever makes the motion, we should
There
put-
is a motion on the floor at present.
Oh, okay, then I'd like to amend the motion. I hear there's some maintenance involved with this parking lot. If whoever's plowing the lot doesn't have like a spacer on his plow, could tear up that concrete surface. Want to make sure that if they do tear up that surface, that They can't just come back in and say, okay, well, you know, we're just gonna blacktop it or something. They have to put in the same pervious surface.
Actually, I don't recall that being part of the existing motion. I was wondering if somebody was going to end up adding that.
That's what I'd like to add. Make sure
What is your
that
suggested amendment?
if anything happens to the pervious surface,
Actually, the previous contract is not, concrete is not part of the current motion. That's what I'm saying. Are you adding that as an additional condition for approving the variance?
yes.
Okay. Does the movement concur?
Yes.
Does the seconder concur? Alderman Coles? And I think the petitioner had offered that as a condition of getting the variance, that you would do the pervious contract, concrete.
Correct.
Okay.
And the statement in subject would be on the drawings again, that would be stamped. That condition would be a part of the building program.
Very good. Alderman Winger?
As follow-up, my concerns about the layout and proposal here, it doesn't appear to be very green-friendly, environmentally friendly. I feel that there could be other approaches in addition to what you're proposing to take care of stormwater management. And I don't see enough stormwater management with this current plan. Concerns about, and then also, what is Plan B if this pervious concrete doesn't work? I understand that our staff is in favor of pervious concrete, although I know that there are mixed reviews out there. That there are some engineers that don't believe in it, and there are concerns. So I imagine that you're gonna have a Plan B if that doesn't work, another pervious type of material. And also, when I looked at your elevations, it looks to me like right when the addition starts, all the water from that addition is gonna be pitched to the rear.
No, it's to the north,
Okay, to the north and rear then.
yes.
But where's the drain?
What happens, and this has yet to be developed, a detention pond, a small one, would be put in that area, just directly north of the building. And what would happen is the storm water runoff would come, and it's called sheet draining. It would drain directly into that detention pond. Then going from the catch basin would be put in the detention pond, and then I would cut through that concrete pad that I talked about and put a storm sewer. A sewer would go from there to the pervious concrete, the sub-base under there. Now, so now you would have the runoff going to the roof, to the detention pond, to the sub-base of the pervious concrete. And then you get the benefit of the sub-base now becomes detention for the roof drainage.
As a follow-up, I'd like to.
Again, wait, all of this would go to the civil, your village engineer for his approval.
Yeah, but in concept, I want to understand the concept before I say yes or no. And right now, I'm going to be honest, I am not comfortable with approving this here tonight. I'd like to encourage you to ask this council if you can come back before us, along with some revisions to the structure, perhaps bringing it in 10 to 15 feet from the rear lot line. I know you've come in 10 already, but we need to get a little further from the rear lot line, like 10 to 15 more feet. We need additional stormwater measures being introduced in your site plan in concept, so I can understand where you're headed. And also, I'd like to see something more environmentally friendly. Perhaps you'd be willing to plant trees along the side lot, like 7 to 10 trees, to provide something more environmentally friendly. Thank you.
What side of the lot would you propose? On the
well-
south side or the north side?
I was looking at the south side, right? Where there's that strip of grass before the next property? Or is that not your property?
That, the grass is our property.
Okay, right in
Then
there.
that abuts a retaining wall that abuts an asphalt parking driveway. I would prefer to put, if we were putting trees in, put them in some place where they're visibly seen, put them in the front of the building. That would have far more impact than along the side of the building.
That would be okay with me, yeah.
We're getting into the area of doing committee work here at the city council level. Are you offering to do that?
Yes?
Okay.
This, again, would come back to the city engineer in the drawings. I'll create a landscaping plan for his benefit, and we'll redo the existing landscaping at the front of the building. This also would show the landscaping around the rear of the building.
Anything further? Alderman Winger?
So my expectation is that our petitioner is going to come back before us with everything revised before we vote on this. So are you agreeing to that? And then I'm going to make a motion now to table until you come back before us?
I really don't want to do that. There's one, you brought up one point about reducing the size of the structure. The owners would not go along with that because that I know. We've already looked at relocating the business to other locations because of the hardship involved. They have to have the space to survive. That's the point. And giving up any more, it just wouldn't be workable for them.
Anything further? Alderman Wesley?
I understand Christine's point here. Why could we not take the vote to approve this and have them submit the landscaping plan? And then we could always, they would have to follow that landscaping plan if we say that, I mean, the building department's got the right to reject the landscaping plan and that. I mean, I agree to not move with this tonight. I mean, he does have a valid point, but I'm willing to move, providing that he's coming back with a landscaping plan and the building department does not issue any permits until they got a landscaping plan. I could see that.
I don't think it's appropriate, phrasing it that way. If the movement and the seconder agree, subject to submission of a landscaping plan to be approved by the building department, I think that's appropriate. If that's what the request is. But I don't think it's appropriate that we're doing committee business at the council level and we would ask the petitioner to come back. I think they need a decision whether we are or are not agreeing to the variance, which is the issue before you.
But Mr. Mayor, this point of service, we just got this site plan today. I mean, as a council members, we didn't have a chance to look at this to make our determination. So if that's the case, then I would go with Christine and we table it and we go back to committee with it. I'm just saying, we just got this today to look at on our diocese.
I think I just agreed to your request that if the movement wants to add, subject to landscaping plan approved by the building department, that would be fine as a condition of the variance. Alderman Shockey?
No.
You do not agree to that additional condition?
No.
Okay. So the motion stands as is.
What's the motion?
Anything further? Motion is to approve, subject to approve the variance from 70 to 78%, subject to the petitioner providing pervious concrete. Alderman, please.
Besides installing the pervious concrete, if the concrete was to be damaged, it should be replaced with pervious concrete. Otherwise, they have the right to just put in blacktop after it's all said and done. Can that restriction be put in? Because then it wouldn't meet the stormwater requirements
I thought that had been.
with the concrete in. But if it gets damaged and then they put
That
in
would be handled
blacktop-
pursuant to the building maintenance code and would have to be replaced with pervious concrete.
Okay.
Anything further? Roll call. That is not part of the motion.
Alderman Cadella?
Just let me,
Motion, just to clarify, is to approve the variance from 70 to 78%, subject to the petitioner as a condition of that variance, doing pervious concrete construction, as he outlined pursuant to the committee.
One more question, if you don't
Alderman
mind.
Weir.
Do I understand correct, if this motion fails, someone else can make an additional motion?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Alderman Cadella,
No.
Alderman Knight,
Yes.
Alderman Coles,
Yes.
Alderman Lewitton,
Yes.
Alderman Police,
Yes.
Alderman Shockey,
No.
Alderman Wesley,
No.
Alderman Winger.
No,
Aye, Mayor.
Call the mayor. Call the mayor.
I said mayor.
Mayor votes yes. That passes.
Second item is just a comment, if I may, about the bike path at Potter and near the Georgetown area. I'd like to give kudos
excuse
to
me, could
Alderman
I-
Winger and the Girl Scouts. For a second year in a row, they've planted some beautiful flowers, and the design and flower colors are even better than last year. That's in my report, Mr. Mayor.
Does that include your report, Alderman Shockey?
I said that was in my
Sorry.
report.
Public Health, Safety, and Judiciary, Alderman Coles.
No report.
Public Works, Alderman Winger.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask a question of staff before I go ahead and make my motion, if I may.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Mr. Graff, with this 2007 sidewalk program, I know that the request was to bring down the retainage amount from like 10% to 2.5, and I believe all work is performed except for one punch list item, and that's the drain. Now, was that actually fixed from the last time we met? Okay, so I believe, I don't have the figures in front of me, but we're looking at a $4,500 retainage, I believe that you proposed. So what I'd like to do, because I'm not comfortable with that amount, I'm more comfortable with about 6,000, and I believe that's the estimate of covering the drain if we're in conflict with the provider, correct?
I don't know where 6,000 came from. I don't think replacing the drain would cost that much. Probably the order of 2,000.
But I thought from our last conversation, it was 1,000 to 2,000 above the 4,500.
Well, no, it was included in the 4,500. Well, okay, let me back up. If we do an extra on it, which we would, then you're correct, it would be above that. The 4,500 is work they've already done that we're retaining, but the actual, what's remaining in the contract.
How much money would we need to keep to make sure we're covered on any work that wasn't performed or the conflict with the drain?
Well, and to make sure that we're covered in terms of them doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my recommendation was the 2.5% retainment. I mean, certainly we can adjust that to any number, but I thought that was enough to get them to not leave town without it.
But will 4,500 cover the work if we need to do it ourselves?
Oh, yeah, it was more than enough for work.
Oh, okay, then I'm comfortable. Okay, so, and can you give me the dollar amount of the payment that we're requesting for payment number 4, so I can read it off in the motion? Or actually, I think I could just refer to it as payment number 4.
Yeah, if you have it there,
Okay.
unfortunately, I don't have the
Okay.
packet with me.
I make a motion for the 2007 sidewalk program for payment number 4, and it's a partial payment.
Second.
Mr. Graff, can you provide us with that figure? Do you have anything with you, or does anybody have it in the minutes for the motion?
Unfortunately, I don't. It was the packet from
Mayor, I do.
committee meeting. last
Alderman
week.
Wesley?
We recommend the payment to be made to A and R Concrete for an amount of $14,349.92.
Is that your motion, Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Seconder agree?
Yes.
Anything further? Roll call.
Alderman Cadella,
Yes.
Alderman Knight,
Yes.
Alderman Coles,
Yes.
Alderman Lewitton,
Yes.
Alderman Police,
Yes.
Alderman Shockey.
Yes.
Alderman Wesley,
Yes.
Alderman Winger.
Yes.
That passes.
That concludes my report.
Finance and Administration, Alderman Wesley.
No report, Mayor.
Community and Economic Development, Alderman Lewiton.
Mayor, tonight we're going to make a motion to approve for staff to negotiate a contract with the Lakota Group to become the city's master planner for only the Thorndale corridor. Do I have a second?
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, I'd like to recuse myself.
For the record, it's noted Alderman Winger recuses herself. Is that your motion, Alderman Lewiton?
Yes, it is.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question? Roll call.
Mayor?
Alderman Shockey?
Yeah, I think I know the answer, but I'd like to hear it one more time. We're approving the staff to negotiate the contract. If they come back with an amount that is beyond what we think it should be, do we still have the opportunity to turn it down?
They negotiate, you approve.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Alderman Cadella?
Yes.
Alderman Knight?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman Lewitton?
Yes?
Alderman Police?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman Wesley?
Yes.
That passes.
We have no other business here, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman. We do not have any other business. We do not need an executive session. There are no items to be referred. There are no items for information only. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.